Alright guys, I'm going to hit you real quick with another video talking about Fisherman's Tale and what I got coming out tonight, the video, and then tomorrow with the article. I've been doing these deep dives into Invincible's world and what's going on there and everything, and I read all through Invincible and I read everything. I loved everything I read, so I'm now diving into Guarding the Globe and Invincible Universe and some of those series, and then going to spin off and read Wolfman and some of these other ones that Invincible's just connected to because Kirkman wrote everything. In Guarding the Globe and Invincible Universe, he got other guys to write some parts of it, so it's not just Kirkman doing it, but it's the world that Kirkman created for Invincible. So I'm especially looking at the Guardian of the Globe, and then I'm gonna throw you a little tidbit out because I was just surprised and amazed at some books that I talked about last May. They're now in the $200 and $300 range. When I was talking about them, they're $15, $20, $30. So just to keep that in mind, that sometimes just listening and paying attention to different people, how important that could be. So let's dive in and let's look at some of what I want to talk about here. So guys, first I want to talk about is Guarding the Globe. Basically came out in around issues. Invincible's in issue like 69, 70, 71, right in that area, and Guarding the Globe comes out. Guarding the Globe, the Guardians of the Globe have been around in Invincible's world, and Cecil Stedman decided, hey, we need more members of our teams. Members keep disappearing. They keep going off the. Invincible just left to go fight with his dad. The Viltrumite War was about to happen out in space, and there still needs protecting. Monster Girl and Robot had just jumped through a portal, so they're like, we need to get people, we need to recruit. So it's just like Justice League and Avengers, and those initiatives they have, and it's a recruitment process. So Guardian of the Globe decided to do a recruitment. So issue 1 sort of explains all of that, and then issue 1 you get 3 first appearances within issue 1. So issue 1 has a cover, a B cover, and then a second print sketch cover. B cover has the Brit, who becomes leader of the Guardian of the Globe because the Immortals retired, and so he's leading the Guardians of the Globe. So three first appearances, you have 2 bad guys. They're Set, who's the big baddie, and he's forming the Order. And you'll find out more about him as he goes along. And then you first actually get introduced to this character named Embrace, who breaks someone out of jail in the issue. And she's just a sexy girl who can invade other people's bodies. And Set's sort of the big bad guy for this entire arc, or this 6-issue series. And then you also get introduced to the first new recruit for Guarding the Globe, and this is a character named Yeti, who you eventually find out is only like 12 years old, and he's actually a child of these frost giant Yetis who are just huge. So, and not that the Yeti is small. Then you have issue 2. Issue 2, once again, you do get some of those. That's an A and a B cover. The entire Invincible run here has these B covers that are great. Issue 6 I've talked about before as being a great one to pick up just because it's an Invincible cover. But Guardian of the Globe 2, you get introduced to Kaboomerang, who's actually on the B cover. Francisco Vasquez, who's El Chupacabra, who's not really a hero at all in this series, but you get introduced to him here, and you get to see him in his costume and everything. And then you get introduced to Outrun, who's a speedster, basically. Sort of fun fact about her, she gets him, at some point, she is possessed by Embrace. And Embrace keeps taking her and finding out what's going on, but the only way you know is Embrace, you find out later, is corrupting her into basically seducing all the different members of the team. So throughout the entire first 5 issues, or I guess it's issue 2 through 5, you find out, hey, she's seduced every member of the team. So just keep that in mind. Guarding the Globe 3, you get introduced to Set's big baddie team. All the characters, some of them are you've known before, like Machine Head and different ones like that. Titans in there, but then you get introduced to 5 new characters. Some of them you only really just see them. Others you get to see a little bit more, and they fight throughout the series. Insomniac, Slaying Mantis, Walking Dread, who has some big battles. War Woman 2, who was the lover of War Woman 1, who Omni-Man killed. And then she went and took over Amazonia, and she hates all men, and she actually kills a character we'll meet in the next issue. And then Red Eye, who has laser eyes that come out but he can control them, so it's almost like a Darkseid. So sort of a cool character there. Then you go to Guardian of the Globe 4, and this is the issue I really do like. And it's still fairly cheap. You can still get them for $5 to $10. You get introduced to the rest of the good guy team, the rest of the Guardian of the Globe team that you see throughout the rest of from issue 75 on. You see them throughout Invincible storyline at different points. Cast Iron, who actually you don't see, he's killed in this issue. He's killed in issue 5 by War Woman 2. Japan Droid, who's a little Japanese girl who is actually an android, who has a really great story arc in Invincible. Guardian of the Globe Volume 2. She has a really good story arc. Pegasus and Labruza, who's a French poodle or French bulldog. You get introduced to both of them, and it's a lot of times you see them together especially in the first part of the story. And then my favorite character here is Best Tiger. I love Best Tiger, and I think he's a great character. I think he has the most potential to move on and be something. So those are the main first appearances. That's through issue 4. It's a 6-issue series. Then if you jump into Guardian of the Globe 2, Volume 2, there's a couple of bad guys that show up, but there's not a whole lot there. You get introduced to Thoth, who is Set's, like, they fight over planets together. So he's a bad guy. He's worse than Set, but he's not. But Thoth does kill Kid Thor. So you do get that death, which has significance for Invincible Universe, and that happens at the end of this story. You also get to meet Supreme Leader Cho, who actually comes more important in Invincible Universe. So the characters you do get introduced to are some bad guys that have more importance or have effects on different things later on. And then you get Invincible Universe. In Invincible Universe, I see them in dollar bins still. Even after the popularity of Invincible, I see these $2, $1. I think this is hugely overprinted. Invincible Universe started after issue 100 of Invincible. After Dinosaurus destroyed the world, you actually sort of see like a different perspective of the view of the talk with Cecil Stedman had with Invincible about, hey, won't you come back and work for us, or I can throw you in jail. You get to see that conversation just from a different perspective. So it's an alright series. I read the first book. There's actually 12 issues with this one. I have not read the second book of Invincible Universe, so I don't know quite what happens at the end. But that's sort of the world of Invincible. Guys, that Guardian the Globe Volume 1, those first 4 issues, I would start picking them up. Just because you never know if this, I mean, you already know we're going to Invincible Season 2 and Season 3. To me, there should be spinoffs. There should be, so we'll see what happens. But I like Best Tiger. He's a guy that I'm going to try to pick up issues that he's in. I've loved his stories when he popped into Invincible, so I think he might be a popular character when he shows up in the Invincible cartoon. So just keep that in mind. And then, guys, just throw this little tidbit. Guys, if you like these, please subscribe. Please leave me a comment. They'll leave a character out from those series. Where do you want me to go from here? Into the Invincible world? There's a couple other series I am going to look at, so keep that in mind. One last tidbit. This is an extra thing. This is the heat check. My very first video I ever did on this channel, and you can go back and watch it, is a video on Elsa Bloodstone. I've hopefully improved, though some of my videos are still worse and some are better. And this is the first one I ever did. This was using PowerPoint with a little screen recording, and I covered Elsa Bloodstone. This is back last May. And I talked about a couple of issues, and I found it interesting. I'm selling some books, I'm getting rid of stuff, doing what speculators do, and I went and I was like, whoa, this book here, this Deadpool number 2, 1 for 25 rand, that I bought right before the pandemic. I bought it right as it came out, and I thought it was a cool cover. I sort of knew if Elsa Bloodstone, hey, pick her up. It's now sold for $115 last sale I could see, but that was back in May. The only thing I see listed now are $200 options. it's a great cover. I think keep your eye out. There still are a few Elsa Bloodstone ratio variant or incentive variants out there that are still under the radar or still you can find. Check out the Marvel Zombie series. I know people are pushing that Ant-Man for the back cover issue, but there's a stinking issue 2 has her on a wall and it's redhead and you get to see her. It's not as good as the land for issue 1 in Marvel Zombies, but just keep all those in mind. Guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Catch you next time.